All right, so let's do it. This is this day in baseball history for April 18th. You guys ready?
I'm ready for this one, man.
April 18th, 1899, John McGraw, who's 26, makes his debut as a major league manager when his Orioles enjoy a 5-3 victory over the Giants, a team he will later manage for 30 years. Muggsy, a 1937 Hall of Fame inductee, will finish his 33-year managerial career with a 2,763 win and 1,948 record. Oh my God, I can't. That's like 4,700 games.
Yeah.
Winning 10 pennants and capturing 3 world championships. That is just crazy to even.
But did you hear? You said how old he is. What do you say? He was 26 and he was managing a team?
26. I think he was player manager.
Never happened again. That's never going to happen.
You know what? I will disagree with that. Okay. I will disagree with that only because I've been seeing a lot of 30-year-olds, and I was surprised at that.
Are you saying at the major league level, or are you saying minor league, or okay?
Oh, like there's some minor league ones, so it could happen, but I can't imagine someone who's not playing, like, you know, I don't know. It's kind of.
I don't even know if there'll ever be a player manager again. I mean, the last one I think was Pete Rose. I don't know if they're ever going to go back to that again.
Yeah, it's it's interesting. I want to say that I don't want to say it won't happen, but. You're right. Your automatic tendency is to think that someone would be older, but I've been seeing managers getting a lot younger recently, and it's been happening in football a lot. There's a lot of young football coaches now, so I think that it can happen. And can you imagine that?
I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon because you still have a lot of coaches who are like been around forever. You know, Dave Robb. You know, you got like. All these guys managing for years with different teams. I'm like, I don't even know who would be the youngest manager in baseball right now. It might be, it'd probably be someone in their 30s. Maybe.
Well, remember we were saying before that like managing without any playing career. Yeah. There's a lot of they didn't even have like even minor league experience.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of who. There was somebody recently that had that. But yeah, it's like. Gosh, it's escaping me exactly who.
So the youngest manager right now in MLB is Oliver Marmol of the Cardinals.
I was thinking the Cardinals, right?
He's 36.
36. I mean that's super young in managerial terms. Yep. So
and how about this? It's, so I guess what I'm looking at here is the youngest manager that I can find like in the modern era baseball after 1900 was. Lou Boudreau, who ends up being a Hall of Famer, player manager at the age of 24.
Okay. There you go.
That in 1942. But again, that's 1942 when a lot of players would have been starting to serve in World War II. So that makes a difference.
Gotcha.
That's a good point.
Guys, explain to me why we couldn't have a player manager in today's MLB.
So I would think that they wouldn't want to split that responsibility because there's a lot of analytics now, and there's not really that need for the manager. I don't know. This is an interesting question.
Another thing would be just the contract issue. Like, I mean, how do you do that? Do you pay him like one salary as a player, a separate check for the manager? Because do managers fall in like the players union, or is it something separate? I mean, that's a good question to think about. Who knows how the contract structure
That's interesting as well.
You know, because a lot definitely has changed since Pete Rose was player manager in the mid 80s.
Yeah, and if you think like Ohtani is doing it, and I don't know if there's any like he has to play so many games as a pitcher and so many games as a hitter. So like that's a very interesting question. Yeah, there's really no and the way that things are evolving, there's no precedence anymore for anything. It could be, they could come up with it right away. I was just watching a video today where like stolen bases were up, and I was like, we were making this case in fantasy. There's a fantasy league that Kevin's in, and you only get 1 point for a stolen base. And I'm just like, wow, that's like just one. I was like, stolen bases are so rare, they should be worth more. And actually, this year, stolen bases are up. So,
well, and I didn't get a chance to read into it, but I saw something about there's talk they might just do like pinch runners. You know, you might be able to just, like the way they're going to up the pinch runner thing, like official pinch runners. And now it's like, okay, well, does that mean you're going to hire a guy who's like a basketball player, a track athlete who is insanely fast just to literally be a runner? Because I think we talked about that. That was the thing that the A's did in the 70s. And I can't remember the guy's name. Washington was his last name, right?
Herb Washington?
Herb Washington. There you go. Yeah. He's like an official pinch runner.
Yes.
That's all he did.
Yep.
You know?
And he got picked off in the World Series. Yeah. And
way to go, Herb.
That's the thing that's the thing I saw come up today. It's like you have players who are struggling, who are like just on the cusp of getting there, and all of a sudden you're not going to make it because they're going to have a pinch runner come in. That's kind of garbage, you know. But it's interesting that if that could happen, they're at least looking to try to help change baseball because they think they're going to try to improve it, and just I think it's going to be on that one no matter what we say,
Yes. Actually, he didn't. He actually got picked off first. And actually, they were mad at the players didn't like him because he was actually taking up a roster spot.
Exactly. What I'm saying could happen now if they actually do that.
Dude, taking up some paydays for some players. Dude.
Exactly.
That's not cool.
Exactly. And he wasn't seen as a player.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. This is a very interesting one for a couple of reasons. April 18th, 1923, Yankee Stadium opens in front of over 72,000 fans with Babe Ruth hitting the park's first home run, a 2-run homer off Red Sox hurler Howard Emke, which helps beat Boston 4-1. The new $2.5 million ballpark is the first to feature 3 decks. Jack, what is this park better known as?
This park right here.
Yes.
It's the Horseshoe Center is colloquially is what it was called, was the Horseshoe Center.
You may have heard this one. It is the house that Ruth built.
Well, that was what I was going to say next.
Yes. And okay, so this is a last minute addition to this day in baseball. My friend Emilio is at this game right now.
No.
And he's at the Angels. He's at the Yankees. Oh.
And so he got the ticket for it, the commemorative ticket. And I'm like, I knew that he was going to be there tonight. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. He's going to be on there on literally the 100th anniversary.
That's so cool.
So he gets there and he goes out to center field and he got it's like a pinstripe beer. It's pretty cool. I'll post it on our social media.
Hey, you know what? I can call shenanigans. That's not Yankee Stadium.
It is, and technically it isn't. It's the rebuild. But he says like, oh yeah, and I got here and Ohtani has already hit a home run, and it's like he hit a home run in the top of the first. So so that, I mean, how awesome. He literally like landed at like 4:00 and then went straight to Yankee Stadium.
That sounds like something we would do for sure.
100%.
Cheers to Emilio.
100%.
The show there.
Yeah, very cool. Little last minute addition right there. I thought I'd add that in.
That's fantastic. Could you jump back to that stadium picture? Do you see the advertisement for Tidal?
Mm-hmm.
That is a narcotic pain reliever.
Wow.
But in 1923, it was an over-the-counter.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love those. That was great.
God bless America, dude.
So, it wasn't always easy to get drinks in the 1920s, so it was good to get some Tidal because we had prohibition going on around that time.
Oh yeah, Kevin, you were there. Have you tried?
Yeah, Tidal before? You gotta find an alternative. Feeling good.
The struggle is real.
Oh yeah. Now, do we know when this photo was taken, Michael? Because I like that Ian mentioned. Imagine being able to park that close. I was like,
exactly.
I wonder what this picture is taken.
Exactly. Yeah, I would say it's. I mean, I think it's 1923. This would be. Yeah.
I can't tell. Like those cars. I don't know what. I can't really.
Yeah,
tell
those cars look maybe in the 50s.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it is. Maybe it is later.
But still, it still is just like, oh my gosh, you can't park that close. You can't probably park That'd be like $150 to park that close to the stadium nowadays.
That's true.
That's awesome.
April 18th, 1952. This one is full of stadiums.
Yeah.
On opening day in Brooklyn, Willie Mays is knocked unconscious when he smashes into the Ebbets Field wall after chasing pinch hitter Bob Morgan's 7th inning, 2-out, bases loaded line drive into the gap in left field. All 3 Dodger base runners cross the plate, but do not score when the motionless giant center fielder comes to his feet and jogs into the dugout, apparently unhurt, having held onto the ball after making a fantastic catch for the 3rd out to end the inning. Wow, what a favor.
What, dude? What an athlete, dude.
He is awesome.
That is all man right there.
Man, and he's young. He's only in his 2nd year in baseball too at this point. So
that is awesome.
Whew. And I would think they've had padding there because in the 40s, Jack and I in our past talked about a guy named Pete Reiser, who literally he's the reason why they added padding to the walls. It used to be just brick walls, and this is a dude who literally like knocked himself unconscious multiple times, concussed, hospital visits, like literally like bleeding from like internally from
right.
Hurt himself just trying to get to the ball. It's like, man, these guys are crazy.
Yeah, they started making big adjustments to try to protect the players, but
yeah, as they should. I mean, geez.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we went from Yankee Stadium, we went to Ebbets Field.
Yes.
Now we're gonna go to another fun one. So this is April 18th, 1981, in an International League action at McCoy Stadium. The Pawtucket Red Sox and Rochester Red Wings begin the longest professional game ever played. At 4:07 a.m., the league suspends the 32-inning contest, knotted at 2-2, being completed later in the season with the Red Sox scoring the winning run in the 33rd inning. Now,
I'm sorry, 32 innings.
32.
Yes. They suspended it at
32.
Did they stop selling beer?
That is not said, but I imagine so. But Kevin, I want you to show your shirt. This is the shirt that I got him when I went to McCoy Stadium.
Lights. There you go. The longest game. Oh, hold on a second. Longest game. There it is.
Wow.
See, it says
what's the second date? June 23rd.
June 23rd.
Yeah, they finished it on June 23rd.
A game with 3 dates.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Isn't that nuts?
And that's the Pawtucket Red Sox?
Yeah.
Yes.
And unfortunately, they no longer exist. They moved to Worcester.
Oh, that's too bad.
They built a new stadium, and they're called the Worcester Woo Sox. And when I went to this stadium, this isn't my picture, but they had this. This is the longest game in history. You could read all about it. It was super cool. And it was a super old, like crusty stadium. And on this next picture, you can definitely see it was an old ballpark. And this was before it was renovated.
Yes. I love it, man.
Yeah.
But also now, do you have notes who played in that game? Because we had some big stars in that game, right?
Wade Boggs?
Yeah, Wade. Was that Wade Boggs in the photo? I don't know if that was Wade Boggs or not.
It wasn't.
Okay.
No, Wade Boggs is not that sassy and fabulous.
He might have been at a young age. I just saw the stash. But Wade Boggs was playing for Pawtucket, and what's that guy? Gosh, on the rails. Carl Ripken? What's his name? Billy Ripken. That's it, right? Billy Ripken?
Billy Ripken.
Cal Ripken Jr. I'm kidding. Cal Ripken Jr.
Yes.
On the other team.
Yes, the boss.
The boss. But yeah, I there's actually an entire book written on that game, and I saw it in my library, and I got to actually sit down and just check it out and read it.
Yeah, but I bought that shirt for Kevin at there when I went there. I actually saw Lucas Giolito was pitching for the Syracuse Chiefs, I believe.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, he pitched like a 2-hitter against the Pawtucket. Pawtucket at that time had Oh gosh, I'm spacing his name. He was on the Cardinals and gosh, I'm totally spacing his name. I'm gonna look like an idiot.
Right.
He's like a World Series hero for the Cardinals, and
not David Freese. That's
he
the
had
first
fallen
time
from grace, and he was striking out for the Pawtucket at that time. I'll remember his name at some point tonight.
That is a structurally unsound stadium, by the way, guys. I'm noticing some things in those pictures that I would not be comfortable sitting there.
And mind you, so that's born in the USA. That means this has got to be taken in like 85, 86, most likely.
Yeah.
For the shirt.
And if you notice, like the dugouts are like facing, the way that they're facing is it's almost like Oakland, but it's like it's even worse. I think it's the craziest thing. And what people would do is, because it was like a bowl, people would take a string and they would tie like a piece of paper that they wanted the guys to sign and a pen to it. So they would just drop it down like a fishing line, and then the guy would like sign it down there.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was super cool.
That's brilliant. Oh, what a cool thing, man.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that. They did have color photography, but trust me when I say this looks more dramatic. This actually looks better than probably the color photo for some reason. I don't know. Like the photos we see like in the 60s and 70s are like amazing.
What's that? Just trying to see the sponsor. I was trying to look at the sponsor too. If they have any like title or anything like that. I always see the Dodge.
Oh, I see Dodge. Yeah. But yeah, it's like for some reason photography went out the window in the 80s. I think it was like this. What do you call it? Those disposable cameras that everybody had. It was like this, took down photography.
Wow.
April 18th, 1982. Now I bring this up for significant reasons, and see if you can understand why I bring this up. Joe Torre's Braves set a National League record when they win their 11th straight game to start the season, beating Houston at the Astrodome 6-5. The eventual NL West Division champs, who will finish the campaign with an 89-73 record, will extend the mark to 13-0 when they add 2 more victories against Cincinnati at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. Why do I bring this up?
Because the Tampa Bay Rays almost reached that this year.
Well, they made 13.
They made it 13, right? They did make it, but they didn't beat the record.
They didn't beat the record. Do you know the record?
Is
15.
I actually don't know.
I was also thinking, like, I remember the 84 Tigers got off to like an insane start too, but it's funny because I'm looking here.
They got that was 84. They got up to a 35-5 start.
Something insane like that. Yeah. But but
Wow.
it's weird because I remember like the Braves a few years later, they were just the dirt worst. They were bad.
Yeah.
They were a bad team in those mid to late 80s, which made it so sad because Gilbert is such an amazing player. And this is their peak, and then they just showed along till they got in the right place, right time in 1991, getting that young talent in there,
That's right. That's why I brought that up. But I wanted to know the all-time record.
I'm trying. That's how we
all right. While you look that up, I'm going to do this.
Yeah. That's how we start history. All right.
This is
Kansas City T-Bones, dude.
Okay. April.
It's the modern record. It's 13.
Oh, so okay. So then there you go.
It says the modern record's 13. So it looks like the Braves did it in 87. I'm sorry. Braves in 82, the Brewers in 87, and the A's in 81. Interesting.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. Okay. Very cool. So you guys are gonna like this one to finish this out. This is fun.
Oh yeah. What the heck is the T-Bone?
This is crazy. When and as a weird ending to it too.
You're good.
April 18th, 2008, the Kansas City T-Bones, a minor league team in the Independent Northern League, cancel the, are you ready for this, Michael Vick Welcome Neighborhood Night after receiving numerous complaints about the promotion. The plans for the event included the teams wearing black and white striped jerseys and an orange jumpsuit style uniforms to mock the former Falcons quarterback who is serving a 23-month sentence in nearby Leavenworth prison after pleading guilty to federal charges relating to dogfighting.
What? This is 2008.
2008.
It was a different time, guys. It was a different time. Holy cow. What?
So they're going to do it, and from pressure, they backed off. of this idea.
Can you imagine? That's
Wow.
the only thing it took is public pressure.
Wow.
That's oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Okay, are you ready for the other side of this?
Oh, okay.
Unbelievable. So recently, if you follow the Savannah Bananas, they're on their kind of like world tour.
Yes.
And they actually had a challenge from a team called the Kansas City Monarchs.
Mm-hmm.
Would you believe that the Kansas City T-Bones are the Kansas City Monarchs?
Yes. Oh, that's
Wow.
I love it. That's fantastic.
That's the team that became the
so cool.
Monarchs. Is the T-Bones.
Yeah, so they
Wow.
so they got the rights to the name, I guess, in the last
Yes.
15 years. Right on.
Yes, and so they play as the Kansas City Monarchs.
Right.
For those who don't know, the Kansas City Monarchs were actually a Negro League team. So they basically took. I don't know if they took it, but they
probably just bought the rights to it.
Yeah,
Sure.
and they play as the Kansas City Monarchs, and they've actually played the Savannah Bananas.
Yeah,
because a challenge series.
Yep. Because also the Negro League Hall of Fame is also in Kansas City.
In Kansas City as well.
Yeah.
So
that's a good publicity for all around, you know.
Yeah. Boy, what a sordid past. Oh my God, can you believe it?
Who thought that was a good idea? Like that was I in charge? In charge? That sounds like something I would come up with.
All right. I gotta look something up. I think I can remember all this. All right, let's talk about things that was a dumb idea that didn't happen. Michael, do you remember the Orem Owlz idea for a publicity night a few years ago?
I do. I do. Yes.
Okay. Oh, here it is. All right. Let me hope I can find this. All right. Yeah, here we go. This is 2015. All right. There's a team called the Orem Owlz. They were like a rookie league team of the Angels. So, Orem, Utah. They were going to do, are you ready for this, Jack? I swear this is real.
Ready.
They were going to do a Caucasian Heritage Night.
What?
I'm serious.
Yes.
I'm serious.
Stop.
It's on the schedule, a Caucasian Heritage Night. It says it was going to be Wonder Bread on burgers with mayo, a jumping contest, and a group watching of friends.
Jeez Louise.
Yes.
Yeah, and needless to say, yeah, it got that.
So what? This was in what, 1982, 83?
No, this is not. No. Do you hear what I said this was going to happen? Should I repeat the year?
Yes, give me the year one more.
2015. This is going to happen.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. It was supposed to be a lighthearted. It was supposed to be like a lighthearted event, and yeah, people, yeah. Social media,
times.
yeah, they understandably got lit up. You know, so I was like,
good. Yeah, good for them.
I think it was like the Charleston shooting happened around that time that caused massive heat. There's massive heat everywhere, and not that that's a good idea anyway. Honestly, like I heard about it at that time, and we just started laughing about the way this is real, and I'm like, okay, no wonder it got canceled.
Yeah.
Was Rob Black the promoter, dude? Was that an XPW affiliate? That sounds terrible.
Oh boy.
And there are people in this article like defending it. You know, it's just like, oh, get out of here. Come on.